we have a big gap here. Big gap. We had a very large bamboo, and we two choices. One choice was to cut it back a good bit and take all the below ground bits away and trim the top. Or the second choice was to take it out. I had a digger man, took it out in about 2 minutes with a digger. This is where the digger went in, and put a bit of soil in, a bit of topsoil that we had, and he ran over this Rosa rugosa in the process, but that's going to come up. So we're going to replant this, but we have decided this used to be a pathway all the way around, and we planted in here, and we left this piece. We used to have a seat there, and then we sort of stopped having a seat there. So it's sort of kind of a no man's land sort of an area. So we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to have all planting here. So we're going to luckily, when I did this, I just put gravel, ordinary pebbles, on top of the soil, and then the way I have a great system of making of pounding the gravel into the soil, like rolling it. It's called customers come in and walk around, and they do all the rolling for me, do it for free. So the great thing about it is there's no hardcore underneath, so I don't have to take much away. So we're gonna just do a little bit. And we'll see what's underneath. Okay. Oh, lovely Pulmonaria. First of all, see what the ground is like. It does seem to be, maybe there was hardcore. Oh, it's definitely hardcore. Here's the mineral soil, or the agricultural soil down here. Perfectly good soil. Now, it's more than likely quite limey, so you wouldn't be putting rhododendrons here, or camellias maybe. But a bit of compost into that, any sort of compost, and you will grow the most amazing plants in that ground as it is. That's all you have to do. So that's job number one. Now, what I should have done, I should have got the digger man when he was here to give it a little dig up. You know, like why have a dog and bark yourself, as they say. But I didn't do it, so we'll just have to do it by hand. It won't, an hour's work. Okay, that's that. We're going to remove all the edging. We might as well start here. Just to show. And we're going to re-edge it. Kind of like this. So it will match, both sides will match. But we'll use fresh edging. They're starting to rot, I might as well. Then we'll mark it out with the pick. The entrance. Start here. There we are. Now there is another way you could do it. You could, if you wanted to, use that as your edge and bring your planting to here. Do the same on the far side. A secondary way of doing it. How would that work? You'd have to start your edging here. No, I think this is probably the best way. It's interesting. Very interesting. Would mean this would plant up as well. You wouldn't have an edging here. You would have planting to here. Planting all around. No, I think we put some fresh gravel here. Some fresh gravel there. And leave it like that. Take this one up. I love using the pickaxe, particularly to get older. I was on the railway last year, or the year before, I think it was from Birmingham somewhere else, and we went down really low in the cutting, and then another point we went above on a sort of an embankment, and it was all made with this and with this by our forefathers. So I always, when I use one of these, I always think of the people who went before us and made a country, made modernity possible for us all. Okay, that's that done. We'll just put a few in, just to give a feel. There we are. You can see our new border, and now we will just have to plant it up, and then when it's finished we're going to just bark the whole thing and we look at a few plants. But before we go any further, the cedar tree, we're going to bring it up higher, let it light in, and we're going to cut back some of the shrubs that were suppressed. Suppressed is the term they use when one big bully plant gets the better of other plants. The other plants are suppressed. They're no longer suppressed. They're liking it at them. And we'll nip one or two lower branches from that very tall, upright beech, Fastigiata beech. And I have a nice little tool for the job. Expensive tool. Husqvarna battery powered chainsaw. Not a toy. So we'll do some chopping. That's okay. You have to be careful of these things because you get carried away and you end up with nothing. That's sticking out that branch a bit. Oh, no. Well, we nip that off. No, we leave it for the time being. We can nip it off later. We go in and do a bit of work in here. We take this branch away. Now, sometimes don't take it all off in one go. It's much easier. Take your time. Go, and maybe this one. I think that should. That's okay. Maybe this one here. That's looking a bit better. And the Bultinck was struggling for light. It'll get much more light now. We'll put it back though. Always have a sort of a clear working area. Don't let debris build up with the saw. You should really be seeing everything you're cutting. You should be able to see exactly. Don't just poke it into a load of sort of debris or fall. Don't know what's going to happen. Always make sure you have lots of everything is cleared. Much safer. Now we'll have to nip these few first. That's the Bultinck done. That's this one done. You can see we have a rhododendron very suppressed. Oh, it's got a flower bud on it. That's going to improve. And we have this very large laurel, which we're going to bring back. And it'll start again. But I want to show you this laurel. It's not the spotted laurel. It's a cuba. It's a form of the cherry laurel, and it's used a lot in flower arranging. It's a lovely flower arranger's plant. I forget the name of it, but that was I obviously planted that there years ago and actually forgot about it because you couldn't see it. So we'll cut that back and it'll come back a nice shape. Maybe this one. That's basically it. I'll have a bit more laurel to cut back, but we'll do that another time. But we're more or less ready to start putting a few plants out. So that's going to go. A few rugosas there, 3 rugosas. Sun coming in this way. That's north facing. Oh yes. Portuguese laurel hedge coming to here. That, and I planted, I think as professional gardeners should know, that's Magnolia Leonard Messel, which is one that's supposedly very tolerant of lime. It's doing really well. I should have planted it here. You can see. So everyone makes mistakes with gardening. Now when I lift it and move it to there? No, I'm afraid. I'm going to cut the hedge back a bit more. You press the Portuguese laurel hedge back, and look, it's going up really high. So maybe it'll come up above the hedge. So we're just going to leave that. But it is very good this year. I'm really happy with it. Now this rose, the hedge is going to go to here. This rose is also struggling a bit, too close to the hedge. It's a hybrid musk rose called, I think, either Cornelia or Cordelia. And if I could lift it, I'm going to try and lift it. And you can lift the rose any time of the year. You can do what you like with the rose. They always come back. Roses, they're so easy. People shouldn't fuss over roses. We try it, and if not, we'll have to leave it. I can't even get near it. They're getting cut to bits. Might get it. If I could find me faithful pickaxe.
What's that there? There it is.
Ah. And this is just an interesting aside. You see the red colour secateurs. I remember that reminded me of a story. I was at a trade show once, and the chap, he sold kitchen implements, and he said the potato peeler with the brownie handle was a great seller, much better seller than the one with the red handle, because people kept losing it in the bin because it's the same color as the potato peels. So you should never get secateurs that has a nice lime green or brownie green or camouflagey color on its handle, because you'll lose them. So they should be always garish orange or red. That's the only way you'll hold on to them. Maybe I should spray this red as well. But we'll have a go with the rose. Put a little high-vis jacket on the pickaxe. Aha. I've no gloves. Doesn't it help? Try again. Wow, that's some roast. Get it. I don't think we're going to win. hill, but nearly there. No, I think we're I'm just stubborn at this stage. We all have got our second jobs by the time this is up. There we go. And look. Ain't that nice? It's been there at least 10 years. That's something to be said for plastic. We keep it as a little memento. So, nip it back. Takes the pull off the roots. That will flower perfectly again this year. Be about a month later, maybe 3 weeks later, but it will be, other than that, it will be perfect. Get it into the ground, plenty of water. That's all we need. You know, you get a spot for it. Put it. Here. The thing about it is, if you lift the plant after years, it doesn't like it, and you plant it, and it grows again, you can lift it the following year really easy, because it's got nice compact roots. You can lift it every year, forever. And we plant it there, and we do that now. No, we did it in a minute. No, we're not, it's getting very late. We're going to put it in a plastic bag, plastic again, and put some compost and stuff around, or in a pot actually, and we'll water it and leave it out, leave it in a little nursery we have. So it's more than likely going to go here. And plant it. Roses. I'm not a great fan of planting stuff too deep, but I would plant it a bit deeper, because you will actually, the young stems will actually root, and that sort of rejuvenates the plant, makes it a young plant again. Doesn't work with humans. So, a few more plants. This was a remnant for some reason, it didn't sell last year. It looks a lovely, nice, really nice hydrangea called Summer Glow. I think it's a lace cap. This one, Ayesha, I tried it before. It's after getting hammered by the frost. So we're going to replace it with that, but we're not going to do it till next week. Till normal weather returns to Ireland. Wet and windy. We have a few peonies, a few new Ito peonies, which I'm only going to plant one in each place. One here and one somewhere else. I've 3 of them actually. These are new ones. So I'm going to plant an Peony. That's maybe here. Just one Peony. Maybe we'll nip that back then. Or the pink one? I don't know, we'll decide. Have fun with that. We have 3 Peony. Chinese 3 Peony. And it's probably pink, but I lost the label. Might be yellow, it's probably pink. And it's not saleable, so we planted. You can see how it's very high in the pots. We planted it there. But it's really good. It's really good plant. It's a Chinese 3 Peony. Oh, it's going to rain. You get a spot for 3 Peony, maybe here. I'm going to plant a dogwood. This is a giant Butternick's giant flowers. Now, you have to have that. Plant that in here somewhere. The rose is going to go there. No, maybe a dogwood will go here. No, Magnolia, dogwood, rose, 3 Peony, herbaceous Peony. Okay. And I have to get a spot for this rose here. Olivia Rose Austin. We got it maybe 20 this year. We sold them, and I kept one for myself because everyone is talking about it. So that has to go somewhere, but I don't know. But it's starting to rain now, so we have a lot of work to do here. And when it's all finished, we'll give it a good thick mulch of plain bark, mini chip bark. And what that does, the mineral soil mixed with the organic matter in the bark makes the richest soil in Ireland. And I don't feed. People say, what do you feed? I don't feed, that's all I do. The soil is good enough in its own. Once you get the structure right, and there's nothing wrong with that soil. Okay, will do. I'm a bit wrecked after all that rose work. I rose to the occasion. Everything turned out rosy.